Good stuff. So what have we done? Right? We've done shoulder and cuts to the inside as well as to the outside, left and right. We've done wrist cuts. We've done arm cuts. Then we've included steps. And then we've included the left hand. Right? Now these have all been just for fendentes today. We've only done the fendente line. We haven't done mezzanis, and we haven't done satanis. Right? On another class we'll work on those. And of course we haven't done thrusts, which is a little bit odd with this, but if you got a face full of this, that would not hurt. That would hurt. That would not be fun. There we go. So anyway, my point is, reviewing what we've done, the next thing would be to look at flicks and then fishes, right? Which we looked at in the dagger section, so you can see how I'm replicating some of the stuff that we did in the dagger session in this hammer section, which I keep on wanting to call an axe section for some reason. But anyway, oh yes, if you're interested in, I think there's like a $20 training hawk down on training tomahawk down in the States. It's like a plastic one. If you're interested in that, let me know. I can send you the link. I've got a pair of those, and they're a lot of fun. But this is all you need, right? Just a hammer. Oh, another note. We're doing dagger the other day. You can use this choked up in order to practice dagger strikes, right? So let's do that just for fun before we move on to fishing and flicking. So choke up the axe, choke up the hammer. There we go. So we're going to bring the weapon up and strike. Good. And then rotate and then strike. Good. And then rotate and come back in. So just like we are striking with the hammer, we can also strike with the butt of the hammer as if it was a dagger. And we can recover and strike the other side. Good. And we can get out. So let's do that a few times. 1. Recover. 2. Exit. 1. Recover. 2. Exit. Now I'm going to slow that down a bit. We've got our first strike coming in. So this would be striking to the base of the neck or to the side of the neck. Again, this would be a non-lethal but not fun thing if you had to just strike somebody with the blunt object, right? Now what we're doing is we're turning, after the impact, we're turning the weapon over, turning the wrist over and the shoulder over. So now we're chambered at this side, in which case we can come out with the second strike. So essentially what we're doing is a full wrist, elbow, shoulder strike, so getting our whole body in the first one, and then flicking and just doing a wrist cut to the other side. Now let's switch to the left hand. Again, choked up. Right foot forward by the left side of the head, so lefty Donna. And we're coming in, striking, recovering, striking the other side. And again. 1. Recover. 2. And I'll go slower. Coming in with the first strike. 1. Turning the hammerhead over and bring the hand back to our side of our right side of our head, and then turning the wrist over again, and then striking out. Good. So that's another fun little thing, is that you can use the hammer as a dagger trainer as well as a sword trainer, right? You can turn it over and you can use it to strike a Satani dagger strike as well. And then change line, and then change line. So, if I was to pick one training tool for isolation, this would be it, the humble hammer, right? It slices, it dices, it even does fury. So, where were we? We did a brief diversion off to using this as a dagger trainer. Now we're going to do the promised flicks and fishes, then we'll finish up with some posta, and then we'll wrap things up. So, what is a flick? What is a fish? Good question. A flick is what we term any change of angle. So if I'm coming in on a fendente line, teeth to knees on the right, and Daniel blocks that line, and I decide to change to a left fendente line, so I'm chambering, striking the left fendente line, that's a flick. However, I can also, so let's do that a couple of times. And we were doing something similar to this just a second ago, using the axe as a dagger hammer, the hammer as a dagger trainer. Right? So we're going to go left foot forward by the right side of the head. We're going to do the strike we were doing before, coming in, landing the blow. Except instead of recovering to the right, we're going to recover to the left, and hand high, and strike to the left side of the blow. This feels like redoubling in the Bolognese system, right? Now we're going to go out to the right and recover back to get ready for another blow to the right. So, right fendente. The blade goes across the line and recovers to the inside and then strikes left fendente. And then we recover to the outside and come back. So the footwork that I'm doing, just to show you the footwork, well, you can't really see it, but I'm doing right foot forward, left foot forward, right back, right? Or in the Fiore terminology, a passing step, another passing step, and then a mini tutta-volta, or in the Bolognese, a back step. Now, if you want to stick without the footwork and just work on the hand motion, that is fine. That is fine. I just like to throw that in there for completeness. People might see me doing stuff that doesn't match exactly what I'm talking about. I like to explain that. And then if you're advanced, feel free to do the advanced motion. So let's do this 10 times, and then we're going to go to the left hand, and then we'll go back to the right hand, and we'll do other flicks, then we'll show flip fishes, then we'll do posta, just to wrap things up at the end. So, strike, across the line, recover, left fendente, across the line, hands high, and back. 10 of these, nice and slow. 1, cross, 2, across, high, out. Now you could ask why I go high at the end. I've been hitting the head more times than I like to count, and good habits mean that it's less likely to get hit in the head again. So if I went across in distance with Daniel, and I just brought the weapon offline, he would and should hit me in the head, because I'm being dumb. This is false time. I'm staying in distance. I haven't started moving back yet. Now, the way that I'm trying to build it into this session is I'm behind the weapon, so I'm still protected. He has to go through my weapon to get me. I'm behind the weapon. He has to go through. I'm still behind the weapon, unless he chooses to come underneath, in which case I have to drop down really suddenly, but that's for another class. And then out. So I don't reveal a target until I'm already moving away, and hopefully halfway away from him before he actually sees a target. So, 5 more. Strike. Inside. Left fendente. Step. Cross the line. And then out. Now, let's do something different with our hands. Let's put our hand up by our left cheek. We'll do a couple like this. Left cheek. Strike. Cross. Strike. Across, high, out. So, the left hand at the left cheek is more accessible for punching or fishing and flicking than it is down here. Sure. We'll do that one more time. Left hand at the left cheek. Strike, across, strike, across, high, exit. But even better is if we use the left hand like we were doing it earlier, and the left hand comes in with the right hand. Strike, across, strike, across, out. We're going to do that 5 more times, and I'll explain something else before we go on to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Last one. Good. So, another aspect of having the left hand with the right hand is Daniel might try to disarm me. Why, Daniel? Why? Because he can. So, if he grabs my wrist, he could try to take this weapon away from me. That's embarrassing to say the least. If he comes in and grabs my wrist or grabs my weapon, I can double up. I can double up here. I'd probably just double up straight to here. If he knocks this hand off, I get out. Right? So that's another good reason for having the hand accessible there. You have a nice, strong structure. You can double up on your body. You can double up on the weapon. You can fish, which we're going to get into in a second. You can strike. You can go in and start to do a key or a lock, which is beyond what we're going to work on today. Those will be for other classes. So, it's a two-handed system. I would argue all of Fiore Barry's system is two weapons, right? Now that gets into another thing. So while you're resting and rolling your shoulder, we can have two weapons. We can strike and bring the weapons together, and then up, and then out, and then out. We can strike, we can fish or hook and strike. Right? Very similar to what we were doing with our left hand, we can do with any other object. Right? We can use two hammers. We can strike, we can fish, strike the other side, push the elbow, strike, clear the line, exit. Right? So whatever we're training with the one hand and with weapon in one hand and a hand in the other hand, we can put something into this hand and use as well. Now, let's switch to left hand. So we're going to be left-handed, and we're going to be right foot forward. Good. So left hand, right foot forward. Same thing as what we were doing on the other side, right? So from Didana, we're going to start with the hand at the hips. Then we'll do a few with the hand up by the cheek. Then we'll incorporate the hands. We've got a graduate training level. So first of all, striking. Then we're going to recover to the inside, bring the head around in a wrist cut, and strike. Then we're going to recover to the outside, go up to Fenestra, and exit. Left foot forward, left fendente, cover to the inside, increasing step, cover to the outside, high, passing step. Two more. One more. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing with our hand up by our right cheek. Now there's another benefit of having the hand by the right cheek, and that is if Daniel comes in to punch me, I have a passive block and I have an active block available, right? So having it down here and getting punched in the face and wondering why, well, there's a reason why, right? So this is another thing. What you'll see in some of the bolognese or rapier circles is this. This does us no good, right? It might even balance if you're at distance, like the rapiers our guys are. But for us, here is okay. Here is good. Here is better, right? So let's do two with the hands at the right cheek. So we're going to bring the hand to the right cheek, the right hand to the right cheek, and we're going to strike out. We're going to go across the line, a little wrist cut, back across the line, cover up, exit it. Let's do two more of those, nice and slow. This is just repeating what we did across the other side. Strike, recover, circle, strike, recover, up, out. One more. Strike, recover, circle, strike, recover, and high, out. Good. Roll the shoulders. So, we've done from the left, hand at the hip, hand at the cheek. Now we're going to have the right hand join the left hand. So we're going to start Iron Gate, and as the weapon comes forward, they'll join each other. Strike, go to the inside, circle, strike, recover high, exit. 5 more. Okay, there, and then, yeah. Sorry, I got confused. Strike, recover, circle back, strike, recover, high, out. And again, strike, cover, wrist cut, cover, up, out. Good. Roll the shoulders. So, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of other flicks, then we'll do fishing, then we'll do post review, then we'll finish up the session. So I alluded to flicks being any change of line. So what different lines can we do? Fendente, fendente, which is what we've been doing. We can go back to fendente again for a third one, right? We can come underneath for satani, striking up under somebody's exposed wrist, elbow, etc. Daniel, do you have a question? No? Okay. And then we can come back up, and then we can dig back underneath for another satani line, right? And then back over. We can do metsanis. Those are different lines. So in this case, the brutal target would be side of the temple, right? Strike. Now, striking in, and then if they overcorrect with the blade engagement, if they panic, that gives us the easy way of switching to a different line, right? If we feint, if we come in and we're like, hey, look at this large blow, and they come out to get it, and we're halfway through and we see they've gone too early, and we can just avoid the blow and come in. That's debatably one of the most difficult skills in the art. Even the act of throwing a flurry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and having your opponent chase those targets can build time. Because they might be just a little bit behind on the first one, just a little bit more behind on the next, a little bit more behind on the next, and then a lot behind on the last one. That's where you get your strike, exit, and then out you go, right? So those are examples of flicks. Now we're going to look at fishing, right? So, what's a fish? Using your offhand or offhand weapon in order to mess them up. That's the short description. Daniel, if you'd like to hold out your weapon, please. So, Daniel and I come to an engagement. And the shaft of his weapon, he's trying to reach out and strike somewhere in here in order to stop that weapon blow, right? I have a couple of different decisions I have to make right away, or not a decision, reactions. I can get out, disengage and out, and he might try to follow. I can switch to another line, which we were talking about earlier, flicking, right? And then he has to respond, or I can wrestle. So if my left hand is right there, and especially if his isn't, I can come to the inside or to the outside. If I come to the inside, I've got the wrist, I've got the middle of the elbow, possibly even the back of the head, depending on our distance. So this is contextual. If we're close enough, I might have a range of targets, and this is also tactical, right? I like infighting. I'm a larger guy, karate background. I will usually go as deep as I can. So I would probably go for a middle key, and then you can strike away if you wanted to. It also gives you a range of non-lethal options, right? Where you can just tie up the weapon, take away the weapon. You can disarm. So I could come in and do a dagger disarm where I just turn it around. So that wouldn't disarm in this case, that would just immobilize the arm. So from the context of fishing and then striking to add into this class. We come onto the line. In this case, I'm going to take the pinky finger. My left pinky finger is going to go to his wrist. So a knife edge strike and then a grab, right? It's very important that it's a knife edge strike because that's a strong structure and it's like a punch, right? And then I can grab afterwards. If I come up with something that's a weak structure, right, he's not even going to notice, or he'll just push through and strike me in the head. That's bad. I have to use celeritos as well. I have to be quick to strike and then come in the follow-on action. Now, if Daniel's left hand is in play, he won't let me do that. He's going to counterfish. So I'm going to come up to left, and he's just going to push that left arm, and then to one side or the other, he could push this elbow and come into that side, so he could do exactly what I'm trying to do. Or he might fish, counter my fishing hand. So I come in, you could take your left wrist to my left wrist, and then just strike me on my left side, or the right angle, right? So this is where things get very dangerous very fast with shorter weapons. Weapons, the length are shorter than your middle finger down to your inside of elbow, right? Because those, by necessity, you're short. You're in short distance. You're doing straddle. So let's do fishing to the inside, and then fishing to the outside. So first of all, we're going to do 5 strikes, where we strike right fendente, and then our left pinky finger is going to come underneath our right arm, and it's going to go from right to left. And that clears the line for us to be able to strike. Then we're going to exit. Let's do 5 more of these. The right hand comes in, the left hand comes with it. We assume there's weapon contact or some attempt to defend. The left hand slips underneath the pinky finger up, and the pinky finger is clearing across, and then striking. And we have our choice of our right or our left fendente. At this point, it's a wrist cut. We've come through and been stopped on our initial attack. Now we need a secondary attack. And I'll go slower. So we have the attack we know. And our left hand coming with the right hand. This is where we get contact, blade engagement. So instead of impacting someone's skull, they've reached out to my wrist or I've hit their weapon. My left hand ducks down and across. From right to left, that opens the line and we can come in. And then we bring our weapon up and exit. And let's keep our left hand with the right hand on the way out as well. 5 more of these. Right fendente. Left hand goes down, pinky finger goes across. Strike. Recover. And then keep the left hand with the right hand as we exit out of distance. 4 more. Left hand goes down, sweeps across, strike, and high, step back. 3 more. Two more. One more. And hold.